Greetings everyone, welcome to the channel. It is your host, The Lion Gaming Crew, and in this Diablo 3 video, we're just going to be updating you guys on the progress of our non-seasonal updated gear. So, we've been putting in a lot of work to improve the non-seasonal sets. Every single build is being updated, guys, so I don't have a release date for you guys as of right now, but I'm aiming to push it out this week, and this update is going to bring a lot of changes. So it's going to improve all the builds across the board. It's going to improve their damage. It's going to make them more consistent, more efficient, and more effective. So big special shout out to each and every single one of my subscribers and each and every single member of the Discord community. Without your guys' support, literally none of this would be possible, so truly thank you all. So quickly, we're just going to go over the changes to the gear itself, and then we're going to run some riffs. Now, this isn't released yet. Like I said earlier, it'll probably be released this week. So, the best way to know is just, hit that link in the description, sign up for Discord if you're not already a member. We're going to put an announcement out when it is ready to be released and ready to be distributed to everyone. So, we got the Yang's recurve bow. We lowered the damage about by 500,000 or right around that range. Just to make the builds more effective. So you'll notice we don't have over 1 trillion damage anymore, and that is because we found during testing that builds that have over 1 trillion damage seem to just, they're not as effective or efficient as builds with the lower damage. So we found 400 billion to like 600, 700 billion is going to be the range of a lot of these builds. So, don't worry about the lower damage numbers. It's there for a reason, trust me. So, the first piece of gear here, this is the LOD set, codename Vanguard. We got the Saint RQ's gauge. What you'll notice is we had added gold from monsters, percent life, as well as more dexterity. We're stacking more main stat on there, as well as reduced cooldown of all skills is upped from it's usually at 10% for both of them. Now the cooldown of all skills is at 35%, and the resource cost reduction is at 27.7%. Now the area damage is usually there for the Demon Hunter build, so we're not really going to touch on that. Moving on, same deal here with the Mantle of Channeling, upped dexterity value, added the percent life, and added that percent gold from monsters, and upping the cooldown of all skills and the resource cost reduction. Moving on to the chest piece, same story here, upped dexterity values, upped that percent life that was missing on the previous versions of all the builds. We added the 70% gold from monsters, and upped cooldown and resource cost reduction. Moving on to the helm, this one hasn't changed too much. We still have the life after each kill and the health potions and globe value right there, 1,000 to all stats. That's pretty much it though. The helms are pretty much going to stay the same. The total life value has been upped though to 126%, very nice indeed. Moving on into the amulet, this is where a lot of changes have been made. We lowered the percent damage to all Demon Hunter skills. Normally it's at 600 to 400%. Now it is at 200%. We also lowered the percent damage value by a lot. Normally it's at 2100%. Now it's at 500%. Meaning that, it's just going to bring the damage down a lot to hit that under 1 trillion value that we're looking for. Pretty much everything else is going to stay the same though. It's going to have legendary powers built into the amulet as well as one passive. But we also added area damage on there. It's going to be on the rings as well. Moving on into the bracers. Again, with that upped dexterity value, added gold from monsters, and this one has magic item find, which is very nice. Moving on into the offhand, pretty much the same story here. Over 10,000 dexterity, counting the augment, which is super nice. A little bit of gold from monsters, and we added a sanctified affix, which reads, Casting Vengeance unleashes a barrage of rockets that deals damage equal to a percentage of the maximum life enemies possess. The number of rockets fired increases over 30 seconds. Elites and bosses receive less damage per rocket. Very nice. Moving on to the first ring. Same story here. This is the 1 billion physical skill damage ring. You'll notice that it has 800% damage. Like I said, normally it is at 2,100% damage. It has been lowered a lot. So is this percent damage to all Demon Hunter skills. That has been lowered a lot as well. The regular damage is around 5,000, not too bad. Ignores durability loss, that's remained the same, so you don't have to worry about that. We've also added a chance to inflict bleed for both weapon damage and just regular damage. So that's gonna proc every so often, you know what I mean? You got 35% chance to have that proc. We also added 192% area damage on hit. That's very, very nice. I can't wait to show you guys the final numbers here. A lot of resource cost reduction, a lot of cooldown of all skills, leading to some absolutely crazy numbers here. So this is the Immortal Ring. We've upped it to 100 yards, coming from 70, so that is a good change. 200% damage to all Demon Hunter skills. It has only a 200% damage and 3,000 regular damage. Not too much else to talk about on this. Very plain Jane on the rings, but you'll notice that chance to deal 144% area damage on hit. Absolute craziness. Moving on to the boots, this one also has magic item find, bringing the grand total to 150%. It also has percent life and percent gold from monsters. Moving on to the pants, this one has percent gold from monsters, and was upped cooldown of all skills to 41.5%, and the resource cost reduction is at 27.7%. For the belt, this is where a lot of changes have been made. We've added 3 passives, and if you count the one from the amulet, now all the builds should have around 4 passives on each build, which is very, very nice. So yeah, we added the Hot Pursuit passive, the Blood Vengeance passive, and the Ambush passive. Now these passives are going to remain the same on all of the Demon Hunter builds, and they will change obviously for the different classes. So, you know, Barbarian will have Barbarian specific passives, but you guys already know that, man. Yeah, so that's pretty much where we're at here. We're going to quickly go over these numbers, and we're just going to run a couple riffs, just kind of showcasing these changes. So we're at 404 billion damage, not too bad at all. The bonus damage to elites, I've noticed that really doesn't matter when we're dealing crazy amounts of damage. So we lowered that, it's at 105%. Attack speed increase, we've got it to show a better value at 20%, so that's not bad. Critical hit chance and critical hit damage both capped at their respective values. Area damage, guys, look at that craziness, 720%. That's not going to be on all builds. We're aiming for 120% on all builds, but just because this is a Demon Hunter and it has an ethereal affix to add a dexterity and that 24% chance to deal area damage, so that's why that value is so high. The cooldown reduction, it's at 99.95%. That should be on all of the builds. So every single build should have that cooldown reduction value. We're going to aim to have 99% for both cooldown and resource cost reduction, which is very nice. Moving on into the damage reduction, 98%. We're inching ever so closer to 99%, so not bad at all. Resistances, they need a little bit of work. They're at 88% though, so I mean, it's not that bad. Total life bonus though, guys, look at that total life bonus, 911%. We're aiming for around 500% on the builds. This one is just really cranked to the max. I wanted to see how high I could push it. So yeah, this is still being tested, by the way. This isn't going to be the final product. I just kind of wanted to make this video to show you guys the progress that we've made so far. 100 yards for the gold health pickup radius. All of this has been pretty much the same though. We usually have life per kill, life per hit, and the health globe healing bonus on all of our builds, so that hasn't changed. Hatred cost reduction, it is at 99%, so that is nice, and discipline cost reduction is also at 99%. Moving on down to the gold find, we're aiming to have above 500% gold find and also 150% magic find on every single build. And obviously that 8,000 experience per kill from the Gym of Ease. So very nice. Let's go ahead and run into some riffs. Yeah, I just kind of wanted to, like, you know, make this video to show that there is changes being made to both seasonal and non-seasonal, because the last couple of videos I have made have been all focused on seasonal, and I didn't want you non-seasonal players to think that I had forgotten about you guys. Yeah, we're working on both simultaneously, so it has been a lot of work here on the channel, but you know, we don't mind working. We want to make these builds as best as they possibly can be. You know, I'm not going to say that they're perfect, because there is always room for improvement, and you know, everything can be improved in some way, shape, or form. So, but we do want to make them as good as we can get. You know what I mean? Like, because when you guys, I want you guys to be able to request gear with confidence. You know what I mean? Like when you request gear, you don't have to worry about it being updated. You know, so this will probably be the final updates to a lot of these builds, you know what I mean? Because once we get them perfect, I mean, there really doesn't need to be any more changes made. That's kind of the goal here. So we're trying to get them as good as they can possibly get to make a kind of a final release type of deal. So that way, you know, we can focus on making more seasonal stuff and making more unmodded gear as well. So that way, no matter, you know, how you play, we have got you covered, you know. So that's gonna be pretty nice. Yeah, I think we got a primal, did we? No, that's the elite enemy mark. But yeah, so these builds are gonna be a lot quicker. You notice how we were clearing and killing things a lot faster, and that's because of that lower damage like we talked about earlier. I have tested this thoroughly. I don't know what it is. I think the game just isn't built to have that high of a damage value. So like over 1 trillion, you know what I mean? It's gonna kind of break the game, but not in a good way. So we'll go ahead and do another one here because that was a pretty quick one. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a slower one because I want this video to kind of, you know, just be like a proof of concept, so to speak, you know what I mean? Because like I said, I'm gonna aim to release this week, but we don't have a set release date as of right now. But I will keep you guys updated on Discord, so definitely join the Discord if you're not already a member. That is going to be the best way to, you know, find things out, you know, when we're releasing new gear, stuff like that. I'll probably make an announcement on the announcement channel on Discord. Yeah, this is definitely a fast build though. You guys can tell we're literally zooming around, and you never have to worry about your discipline, both because of the discipline cost reduction value and that skill we have on our circle, which is like the focus skill, basically instantly restoring discipline. So that's really nice. Makes it so you can just spam your vault pretty much non-stop, which is great, especially if you have the action shot rune on there, because then you're gonna fire while vaulting, which just is it's super broken, but you know, we're not complaining. So that's 2 rifts right around the same exact time. We'll do one more, you know, just to have 3 total rifts to kind of get, you know, a general idea for what these builds are going to be like. Like I said, all these builds are going to act almost identical. So they are going to have their specific powers. So obviously if you choose Gears of the Dreadlands, you know, you're going to use your strafe ability, but their damage and all of the other stuff, like the passive stuff like that, is going to remain the same, because I don't want one build to be super powerful and then, you know, like that, you know, I want everyone's favorite build to be viable, and I want it to be just as good as all the rest of the builds. So we're trying to aim to make them almost identical with the detailed stats, meaning like they're still gonna have their set bonuses, stuff like that, obviously, you know, but like the detailed stats page is gonna look a lot more close to one another when you're looking at all the different builds and stuff like that. And that's kind of been the goal with this update here. We want to make sure that your favorite build isn't being overshadowed by another build, you know what I mean? For a long time there, like the belief set, the LOD monk and stuff like that were like, and the Gears of the Dreadlands outcast build were pretty much like the stars of the show. And with these new recipe and these new affixes, we're aiming to make every single build the star of the show. So no matter what one you want, whatever one you like, whatever you play as, we want it to be viable, and we want you to have as much fun as possible. So that's kind of been the goal with this massive update. Like I said, all of these are going to be dropped on the same exact day. So when we're ready to release them, every single build will be updated. So yeah, big things coming here on the channel. So if that sounds interesting to you, and you're new here and you like the content style of these videos, then definitely let me know by either dropping a like or maybe even consider hitting that subscribe button, as that is the best way to push this channel out to help more users just like you. So finally, I'd like to thank you all for watching. If you made it all the way till the end, you're an absolute legend, and I really appreciate your support. And I really hope to catch you all in a future video coming out soon. Stay safe, stay happy, and last but not least, stay gaming, my friends. Lion Gaming Crew, signing out.